Hold on. We need something new. That's better. Hello again. Carmen Ryder here, back with a different kind of video. I'm joined here with Bookworm Green to go over the subreddit, Am I the Asshole?
Since this genre of video is decently popular, we decided to give it a shot. Don't worry, this isn't going to be a full change. This is just a sub-series. Let's get into it.
Am I the asshole for making my daughter sleep in a tent? I, a 34-year-old woman, am a single mother of two girls, Jasmine, 16, and Jessica, 14. Their dad died when I was pregnant with Jess, and I had to work hard. We hit rock bottom. And I was barely making paycheck to— Oh shit, they're British. Oh shit, now I gotta— I, a 34-year-old female, am a single mother to two girls. Jasmine, 16, and Jessica, 14. Their dad died when I was pregnant with Jess, and I had to work hard. We hit rock bottom, and I was barely making paycheck to paycheck. But I managed to get a degree, become successful, and we live well. Point is, I know how fucking hard it is to be at the bottom of society, and my daughters know this, which is why I always livid at my daughter's actions.
I mean, literally anything can make a British person livid. Remember SVG?
Calm down. This is a different type of video. We gotta give him the benefit of the doubt.
Fine.
Yesterday, Jasmine showed me a video of Jessica cussing a homeless man out and telling him, "Stop asking me for money! You'd earn it yourself if you weren't so fucking lazy and spending what you earn on substances." When the homeless man complained about the cold— we live in northeast England— Jessica responded, "Yeah, people camp for fun, even in December. You can't complain, you're living someone's holiday." Fury was an understatement for what I felt, as I thought I had raised an empathetic daughter. See, most people get on us Americans for not respecting the homeless, but in all fairness, as you can see, it's not much better in the UK.
In fact, some might say the UK has it worse here, since in the US people can easily blame the system. But rarely does anyone talk about the system in the UK.
Along with finding the homeless man and making her apologize and help pay for a hotel room for a night for him, she paid £20. That's $26.76 in USD, by the way. As well as signing her up to volunteer at a food bank. I decided to take her up on her offer of sleeping outside. I locked her bedroom door so she couldn't go in and put a sign on it saying, "Closed for the holidays." Ooh, smug. I like it. Pitched a tent in the garden and filled it with blankets and the sleeping bag I used when I was camping in Norway on a family holiday as a teen. AKA really bloody thermal. I slept in the room closest to the garden for that night, so I was nearby if anything was to go wrong. She was reluctant to do it, but chose it over the option of not having access to her phone until the Christmas holidays were over. In the morning, she was crying about how horrible it was to wake up on a cold mat and get disrupted sleep due to beds. After comforting her, I asked her what it would be like to do that every day like the homeless man. It struck a chord with her, and she was crying over her actions. Well, even after the £20, she was rolling her eyes, and her apology was not sincere. This afternoon, I came home from work to Jessica making a big meal to donate to the homeless people who live on the road near our house. I was proud of how she turned over a new leaf. And after taking the food to the people, my sister came over. Apparently my nephew and Jessica were talking at school, and he asked her about her plans for the afternoon, and she said that she was going to cook for the homeless. My nephew asked what triggered that, and just told him everything, which he relayed back to his mum. My sister said that my punishment was too harsh, and that just the £20 in the food bank would have done the trick. And I was acting irrationally due to my past. I'm second-guessing myself. Am I the asshole? No, not really. She wanted to be on the same level as your average TikTok user and disrespect the homeless because she thought it was funny or some shit.
In fact, you gave her the choice. Sleep outside or grounded from her phone. She chose the former, so there we go. If anything, it was generous of you to give her a choice at all. Should we move on to the next one?
As long as I don't have to do that voice again. Am I the asshole for getting angry at a hairstylist who called the authorities? This is absolutely wild to me. I, an 18-year-old female, am back from college and recently went to a new hair salon with my best friend, also 18-year-old female. Gemma is deaf. I assume Gemma is the friend. She was wearing a Gallaudet shirt. It says Gallaudet University School for the Deaf on it. And wanted to go blonder because of the fact that everyone wears masks. She can't use her lip reading skills and instead uses her phone or uses sign language. We went to get her hair done together and I decided to help out and show the new hairstyle she wanted with her hair and explain in detail how she wanted her hair done. Did I sort of hover? Yes, I did. I noticed that the hairstylist was getting at the wrong things, and I went over to tell her while Gemma sat there quietly, not knowing what the hell was going on. Okay, so right off the bat, I have to say, don't tell the stylist how to do their job. They know what they're doing. They went to school for this. The stylist started to act really strangely and started to talk to Gemma, snap her fingers near her ears, and finally said she was taking a break and went off to the back room of the hair salon for a few minutes. Well, she does sound rude. Even if she's deaf, you don't snap your fingers near someone's ears like that. Simple tap on the shoulder would do. At this point, Gemma and I decided that the service was shit and it was time to go. Wait, did you tell the stylist that Gemma was deaf? Because if you didn't, she probably just thought she was being ignored. Before we could leave, the hairstylist came back and literally kept us there. She made excuses, started talking, and stalled and prevented us from leaving. The cops arrived 10 minutes later. Wait, what? And Gemma and I were separated and taken into one area. I was asked a few questions and I answered. I showed them pictures of us as children and our Instagram and Snap stories. I called my dad and the cops understood everything. It turns out the hairstylist had assumed that Gemma was being human trafficked. Wait, where the hell did that come from? Because she was catatonic in her chair, she was unresponsive, and seemed agitated by waving her hands around. And I was doing all the talking for her. That's not human trafficking. If anything, that just sounds like someone with special needs. The cops left and I went out there to scream at the hairstylist. I used some choice words, I called her some mean things, and because it's a chain, I forced her to call the manager so I could watch her get fired on the spot. I was extremely angry and I told her she was the stupidest bee in the world for all the drama. Just say the word bitch. No need to dance around it, just say bitch.
Okie dokie, calling bitch.
Am I the asshole for screaming at the stylist? We left with a lot of free stuff and gift cards, but my friends say she was just doing her job. I think that she was just being a nosy bitch. I would say no, but the part about you trying to get her fired threw you in the asshole category. If I were you, I would have just left it at, you're a fucking idiot, and then left a negative review. Let the manager do the firing. You don't need to help.
Also, this could have been avoided if you just told her she was deaf. I'm not saying the hairdresser was in the right, but you could have done something too.
So yeah, everyone except Gemma here is the asshole.
Would I be the asshole for refusing to help a friend in desperate need? A few years ago, my friend Allison was in a bad spot. She had taken in her 3 nephews. Parents went to prison, in addition to having 2 kids of her own. Christmas was pretty much not going to happen because she had no money. There is no family, she is the family. I was single and had a very good job, so I did Christmas for them. It didn't spare any costs. I pretty much sent those 5 kids up for an entire year. Again, I was single and had a lot of disposable income. I told Allison not to sweat it or think she owes me. I probably would have done it for anyone in her situation. At least, it went to people who need it. For some reason, I started getting emails from people asking for money and shit. I was baffled where these people were coming from. They said Allison gave them my information, and I was this nice guy who liked helping people out with no strings attached. I was furious. Allison got defensive about it, and I just ended our friendship and didn't speak to her for like 3 years. She recently emailed me to see how I was doing. I said fine. She said she was embarrassed, but was in a tight spot. She was having financial issues and was wondering if I could save Christmas one more time for her. I believe she is in a bad spot again, but I don't want to. She burned me pretty bad. It would be no sweat off my back to save Christmas, but not worth being labeled and treated like a nice guy. I'm really not. People can project that onto me and they will generally be disappointed. But I do feel bad for those kids. Not the asshole. She pimped you out as someone people could mooch off of. Honestly, either way, you wouldn't be the asshole.
My question is, why after not contacting her would she suddenly talk to you out of nowhere only to ask for money? This is just a theory, but chances are she had a sugar daddy and only contacted you once her check bounced and daddy wouldn't respond to her texts. If she really was in need, then she would seek out a church angel donation, not a random guy friend from 1+ years ago. My suggestion is that you block her ASAP and donate to an actual cause. Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law I won't sew clothes for her because I don't know how to sew for her body type? I started sewing in college and have a wardrobe full of me-made clothes. I'm really proud of it. There's a big huge point that is going to make me come across as wrong. I have the ideal body for sewing. In terms that other sewists might get, I'm apparently the person whose body matches the sloper for drafting patterns in the mainstream pattern companies. I can sew a size 8 for tops and bottoms. I understood none of that, but I'm still gonna judge you. This means, aside from very slightly adjusting the hem length or straps of a garment, I do not have to make any adjustments from the pattern. No lengthen, shorten, scooping, arm side, FBA, SBA, etc. I never learned how to make adjustments. I don't need to. I literally only sew clothing for myself, and nothing has ever not fit me perfectly. I really love my sister-in-law. She's super friendly and sweet. She welcomed me into the family with open arms, and she's always been supportive. But about 3 months ago, she asked me to sew her something that she would pay for. I kind of put off telling her no. My sister-in-law is fairly chubby. She has a beautiful body that she's proud of, but I know without even measuring her that because of her weight distribution, she has a fairly large chest and a bigger belly, but smaller hips and not much booty. She slumps forward and has a very arched lower back. I don't have the skills to sew for her. I tried to learn a little, but was too overwhelmed because of all the math. 2 weeks ago, she finally sat me down to go through my patterns with her. I had to be honest, and I told her word for word, I can't sew for you because I don't know your body type. She got very red and started asking me what I meant. What exactly was her body type? Did I think I was better than her or something? And it turned into a big argument. She accused me of fat-shaming her and mocking her with talk about body types and stuff, and that the idea of flattering clothes is based on trying to make fat women look smaller, and I'm pushing beauty standards on her. Already I can say you're not the asshole because of how much of an SJW your friend is. I ended up crying and kicking her out of the house, and she took it to the court of public opinion, Facebook, where her friends bashed me. Hun, Facebook is already a shitty site. Don't worry about those lard asses. Mother-in-law got involved and told me that she was ashamed of my judgmental behavior and that she expected better of me, and told me that I should probably not come to the family Christmas because sister-in-law is depressed now. I can't believe that you don't know how to make clothes for my #body-positive daughter. You're banned from Christmas, you cis-sack cracker. Check your privilege. Now my daughter has self-diagnosed depression. My husband is on my side, but keeps imploring me to smooth things over. I don't get how I'm even supposed to do that. Am I the asshole? No, you're not the asshole. Your sister and mother-in-law need to grow the fuck up. Your sister-in-law obviously doesn't know how making clothes work. Or how making anything works. Even as someone who doesn't sew, I know that making clothes for bigger people is harder. Anything to add?
You pretty much covered it. And finally, am I the asshole for blaming my dad for bringing my stepbrother into my life? My wife had an affair with him. My wife had an affair with my stepbrother. It was possibly the single most devastating thing I've been through. My marriage is over, and everything is wrapped up money-wise. But I have a lot of anger and resentment at my dad for even bringing the piece of shit that is my stepbrother into my life. He always had a negative presence in our family, and I've complained to my dad numerous times as to how our stepbrother was awful to my sister and myself. But my dad turned a blind eye because he was desperate to keep this sham of a family together. My granddad ended up firing my dad and stepbrother instead, and he's cutting my dad out of his will because he saw how hurt I was by everything. He doesn't want my stepbrother to benefit from him in any way. My dad reached out recently to say he is separating from his wife, so there will be zero link to my stepbrother, and if I would be open to talking to him. I said he was 15 years too late and stopped responding. Am I the asshole for blaming my dad for playing a part in this? You're the asshole. No wonder your wife cheated on you.
Damn, that's blunt.
But in all seriousness, you need to grow the fuck up and realize you're barking up the wrong tree. Your brother is an asshole, and you're justified for hating him. But you need to realize your dad is not at fault here. Blame your wife and your brother, because they're the ones who ruined your marriage. Your crying fleshlight of a wife couldn't handle being with one guy, so she bounced on your bastard of a brother for that reason. Your dad, however, is just as upset as you are, and you need to realize it's not his fault.
You also said, "I've complained to my dad numerous times as to how our stepbrother is awful to my sister and myself. But my dad turned a blind eye because he was desperate to keep the sham of a family together." What did you expect your dad to do? Kill him? Put him back in his balls as a sperm? What? Anyways, that's all for today. If you want more from me, you can follow my Twitter, watch my DeviantArt. If you want to talk to me directly, you can join my Discord server. If you want to support the channel, you can join my Patreon. And until next time, goodbye.
So am I. So am I. So am I.